First, I'd like to say it's wonderful to see a church open and people in the church. I've been up in Lloydale most of my adult life, and I've enjoyed it up there. But they had the church services where they're doing it over the internet, and you know, that's wonderful that you're still sharing. But I think it's really amazing to be in person and to work with people in person and to have that energy there. You know, Lloydale opened during the summer. We did have the 10-week season. We had all of this social distancing and masks and everything. And we had really, didn't have the normal quantity of people, but it was a wonderful summer and everyone really enjoyed it. And one of the first things I noticed that during this summer, people came in with a blessing, and they were saying they walked through the gate and felt the healing, felt the energy, felt the love. And we had everything open and running, and had outdoor services, but had everyone spaced apart, all the social distancing. Taught classes in the auditorium. It was the biggest circle I've ever had in my life when we took up half the auditorium because we're all 6 feet apart. So it was really interesting that way. I almost needed a loudspeaker, but it was a wonderful summer, and I know some of you possibly connected to Lloydale, been in Lloydale in the past, but it's wonderful to see this church open, and physically we're here, and it's really a nice energy. It's a blessing. You know, I grew up as a spiritualist, grew up with healing, grew up with message work. Dana Bailey was my teacher, and he was my main teacher, and he always said to me, he said, in the midst of chaos, we can have harmony. And I believe this is a symbol of that. We have the harmony. And the world around us, you know, sad to say in many ways, don't really understand. You know, I'll share this with you. I had a gentleman this summer that came in, and he's Catholic, and he said to me, he said, you know, he says, I would have never come here. He said, I'd have never entered the gates of Lloydale. He said, I would have never came for a reading. And he says, you've read for almost everyone in my family now. And he said, they're all convincing me to come in for a reading. He said, I haven't really believed in the way that they talk and you're talking. He said, but I'm open, I really want to understand. And it was such a fascinating energy to work with someone that had that fearful belief system, and to bring them around to a point of understanding that, you know, we're in the body, we love, we share, we heal, we care about each other, and we're on the earth plane here. And then we step out of the body, and we're in the soul level. And as we step out of the body and we join the soul level, I find that it was really interesting for him to have the opportunity to look at the idea that all of the physical things in the world that were so restrictive, be it health or illness in the body, that it was gone, and you have the freedom to function on the spirit side, and instantaneous thought prevails. And when instantaneous thought prevails, we're able to reach right back through to the ones we love and we care about, and they reach out to us also. You know, I had Dana tell me this after he'd passed. He said to me, he said, remember, Greg, he said, we're praying for you. We're fine where we're at. You're still learning your lessons and struggle and dealing with the physical plane. And he brought in an enormous amount of information. He was a trance medium. And I watched him many times during completely broad daylight go into trance and give messages, give lectures from Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, Arthur Ford, Edgar Casey. He had given lectures in many ways from many people on the spirit side. Understanding as we do as a spiritualist, they can reach through to us and guide us and help us and uplift us. And we need to understand that in the time we're in on the earth plane, we're really in the midst of a turmoil that we can have harmony. And by the thoughts and prayers and healing we're sending out, we bring harmony. And at Lloydale, we opened the healing temple, and we didn't do laying on of hands, but we did a meditative time similar to what you did here. And we shared the energy of healing. And I've had a few people that came in for readings, and they said to me they were in the healing temple, and they said, my God, I felt so much better. Remember, we understand. And there's a great deal of people in the world around us, and I'm not picking on religions, but it's like all these different belief systems that people have that, in my mind, sometimes what I would look at as being a little fearful and a little distant at times with everyone. And here we are as spiritualists reaching out and sharing and have that ability to bring the energy and bring the healing and bring the messages. That gentleman that was Catholic said to me after we were done with the reading, and after he went through probably 25 Kleenex, he was shocked at the idea that the spirit world knew what he was doing at this present time in his life, different events, different circumstances that were occurring, even talked about different illnesses that he had had in his body bothering him, and how they were working on it and what improved and what has changed. And if we look at that rapport and realize that Spirit's with us at all times, they're around us, they're helping us, they're guiding us, please take time to share this with the world around us and the people around us, because we're needing to do that. In the times we're in, you know, God couldn't get our attention. And we've had this event occur with illness and what they call COVID. I really believe it's an awakening, and it's helping us redefine what's truly important. And that's the family and the love and the healing and the sharing with the neighbors, and have the ability to care in that manner. And this is where I believe we've always should have been, but it's something that I feel we've gradually gotten away from. And now it made us stop, look, and listen. I believe the people that are here certainly have stopped, look, and listen. Certainly have those energies of healing and love and caring. And I believe we need to share them with the world even more. You know, even if we drop a note to someone, you know, I find the computer systems in the world are pretty amazing. I do phone readings, and I do readings where I do readings for people over Zoom. And you have different parts of the world that are really in turmoil. And I remember talking to a gentleman in India, he lives in an ashram, and he said to me, he says, Greg, he goes, your understanding is so different than what we experience here. And the people here aren't thinking anything about COVID. They just go everywhere, do everything, and think nothing of it. And he believes they're hiding how many people are sick and how many people are passing over. And I believe in many parts of the world we're having that happen. And our prayer and our healing does make changes, and it does bring about balance. You know, during the summer in Lloydale, time after time I heard people say to me, it's so wonderful that you're open. It's so wonderful that you're doing services, you're teaching classes, you're sharing these things. And I know there were so many new people there. And I find it fascinating, just my observance of the people coming in the Dale. A very high percentage of people were brand new, had never been to the Dale, had never had a message, and would have normally never come. And they're reaching out. There's a need out there. And the more we can share that information that we have and we live by, and we share with others, I think that is just an incredible help to so many people. You know, I had a young lady come in, and she lost her father, she lost her mother, and I believe the grandmother in a matter of a few months. And she came in and she had never had a reading, she had never been in Lloydale, and she came through the gate and she said to me, she says, well, I did a blessing before I came in. And I said, that's wonderful. I said, I do a prayer before I read for you. And she just looked at me for a moment, and she had been to the 1 o'clock service, and a few years ago, the board had said, no more open prayers before you read when you're going to the outdoor service, because it's taking up so much time and they only have an hour. And there certainly were some people that would go ahead on and on with a prayer and extend it forever. And I find that I was teaching people and saying to people, do your prayer before you walk up. Even the visiting mediums, do the prayer before you walk up. And when I would go to someone, And like I remember one time going to a group of people, and he happened to be all Catholic. I said to them, I said, I want to come to you. I said, I've already said my prayer. And I said, would you share with me Amen? And they shared with me Amen, and I felt the curtain open where there was a comfort level for them, that they knew I had said a prayer. I believe that each one of us saying a prayer and sending an energy out is a huge change for everyone around us. You know, we're doing the 6-foot distancing, we're wearing the mask. I think it's very important to take a precautionary level. In Lloydale, I read for people in person, and it was something that we did, the mask and all the things and all the 6-foot distances. But I look at the energy around this, that too many people are out there living in fear. And I really believe what we fear we manifest. And if we continue to live in that fearful energy, we're just manifesting more of the problem we don't want. And by having the precautions taken we're taking, it's making a big difference. You know, I remember a lady saying to me during the summer, she said, you know, I feel healing as I walk around the grounds, and I feel a love energy from Spirit. And I've always said to people, Spirit's energy has always been alive and living in Lloydale, and we feel it. It's there. It's very tangible. I know many people go through the gate and they'll feel it. They notice the change. I believe as you walk in this church and we're sharing with each other, there's that same change. There's that same energy of healing and that same balance of bringing harmony in our lives. Please share with others in the way that you can. I know we're coming into the holidays. I know there's a lot of people that are very fearful of traveling and visiting and doing things. I really believe that the whole message in this occurring is to awaken us to what's important. I believe each of us in this room has a really good idea of what's important, and to recognize that as something we share. I've already been thinking in my mind for Thanksgiving the people I want to call and say hello and give a blessing. And I feel we need to think about that. How many people can we reach out to that we can just touch base and say, Happy Thanksgiving, we love you, we're sending you energy, we're sending you healing. Please keep those thoughts in mind for the future, because I really believe that's so important for us to understand. You know, I know a gentleman that passed now, and he was 97, and he said to me, he said, you know, it's amazing how short period of time we're here. And he passed at 97, and he made a couple statements to me over the years of knowing him. He said, you know, he said, we forget about how fast things are going, because we have this concept in our mind that we're in charge and we're in control, and whatever we're doing, we're in charge and in control of. But to recognize in ourselves, we're not really guaranteed our next breath. Because I know Spirit can call us home, God can call us home. And we'll go home. And there's no question. You know, like Dana used to say to me, he said, that's one appointment we're all going to make. And I find that there's so many people now losing family members and other people they know. I know a number of people that have passed over, and I know a number of people that I've worked with, their family members have passed. I believe at a soul level, not just a conscious level, but a soul level, they understand, and they made the choice of transition, and it's actually a lesson and an awareness for us. And it's a balance for us we're needing to create. And as we create that balance, we're bringing more harmony in our lives. I really believe by going into the spring, we're going to have a lot of medicine that's going to be helpful to people, and it's going to eliminate the problems we're having. And people that are really other conditions that are certainly there and a problem for them, that yes, they could be vulnerable. But I really feel we're going to come out with so many things rather quickly that's really going to be very helpful. And I don't see as many people being in a fearful state of mind. When we all take time for a thought and prayer for everyone, and I'd like to have a little prayer right now for everyone in the world. Dear God, in all thy love and understanding, as we are blessed by thy presence, thy guidance, thy light, thy love, as we ask that this is shared with everyone, that they understand and feel it, they know it and recognize it in such a deep way, that we bring the harmony and the understanding that we understand here to the world around us. May we bring that healing and balance. God bless. Thank you.